How y'all doing, family? How's everybody doing? We looking for another good show tonight. As always, we try to bring you the facts and everything, but as listeners, you should confirm political information with your trusted sources. Just want to let you know these are our sources and this is what we rock with, okay? Hey, Suleiman, how you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Back for another week, man. I'm doing well,
Yeah, we were out for a week and we had some information that we had out there before. We rocked with that this week. We had some good numbers. Thank y'all. We got new subscribers. Our views are going up. We're almost at 200,000 views. So y'all keep it coming,
Yeah.
okay? Keep it coming. So tonight we got a good one and it kind of ties in with what we've been seeing on your TV screen all day and the last couple weeks. And the title is Why the Democratic Party Internal Fight Matters Deeply to Black Voters. Okay, so black voters are the backbone of the Democratic Party. That's not an opinion, that's history. But right now, the party is wrestling with itself. Moderates, progressive, democratic socialists, all pulling in different directions. And when the tent starts shaking, the people holding it up feel it first. Tonight, we're going to break it down why this internal fight matters, not in theory, but in real life for black voters, black families, and black futures. This is Gents Making Sense. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir. Look, man, politics is messy, but when the mess spills over, it doesn't hit everybody equally. Black communities feel political outcomes harder, faster, and deeper. So when the Democratic Party starts arguing about identity, ideology, and direction, we can't just watch from the sidelines.
Yeah, because the stakes for us are different. They're heavier. Okay, we're going to
Get
go
into
into
segment one, brother.
Yeah, we're going to go into the first segment, Democratic Party internal divided. Let's set the stage. Inside the Democratic Party, you've got three major groups: moderate, cautious but incremental, stability focused; progressive, reform driven, equity focused; climate focused; democratic socialist, structural change, universal programs, labor power. These groups agree on more than they disagree on, but the disagreements are loud.
Loud disagreements can become headlines, headlines become narratives, narratives become voter confusion. And people should know that that is what the people that control the media want. They want
Yeah,
division, they want confusion, they want things that they can point out with differences as opposed to focusing on things that people are together about. So don't fall for it.
yeah, yeah. Confusion kills turnout sometimes, but I don't think we'll fall for it this time because a lot of people are pissed off. They don't like how much money they're spending at the pumps.
Yep.
Donald Trump had this stupid ass thing he said about eggs prices are going down. Yeah, that's the only thing that's gone down. The only thing. Everything else is going up.
What does he know about buying eggs? Donald Trump ain't
Exactly.
bought eggs in 60 years.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is asinine, and the fact that it caused confusion and people, the Democratic Party. I hope the voters don't buy into it because this is what the Republican Party wants. They already started they're not dog whistles anymore. They put it in the foghorn now. They done start calling the Senate Democratic Senate candidate for Michigan. They already done started calling him by his whole name like they did Barack Obama. Abdul El Sayed. The whole name, it make people think when they going out to vote for him. So
Well, I mean, I've seen that, experienced that before. That's the way they operate. But the reality is that all the people that were complaining about the mayor of New York City and what he was going to do in New York City, he's actually getting accomplished what he said he was going to get accomplished. People are actually having city-run grocery stores. They're lowering prices, bus fares. They're holding rent at a certain level. Things he said he was going to do. And if you look at his enemies or people who, as far as I'm concerned, as the national media is his enemy, what have the people that they're supporting done?
yeah,
Nothing. They've
yeah,
done nothing.
exactly.
None of the Republicans that are out there talking about what they're going to do for the people, none of that has been accomplished. Gas prices are high, food prices are high, retail's high, people can't do anything. People should see that and look at, not someone's name, but look at the fact that he's an American. None of us
Exactly.
here are Americans. We were all brought here or we came here through our parents. None of us are native to this land. So,
Exactly. So we done beat that. It's like beating a dead horse with these
yeah.
jackasses and stuff. Really.
So,
We gonna go on to the next section. Voters matter so much in these debates.
yeah, black voters are the most loyal Democratic bloc, period. That loyalty gives us leverage, but only when the party is unified.
Yeah, exactly. When the parties fracture, our leverage shrinks, our priorities get deprioritized, our communities get caught in the crosshair. Unity isn't just a vibe, it's a strategy. And when the strategy breaks, the people who rely on it most feel the consequences. Okay, we're gonna get right into the policy differences equaling real life differences for black communities and whatnot. Let's talk policy because this isn't just ideology, it's material life. Democratic socialists push for universal programs, Medicare for all, housing guarantees, student debt cancellation, stronger labor protection. These hit black communities directly because we're disproportionately affected. Medical debt, housing insecurity, wage stagnant, and student loans.
Yeah, progressives push for targeted voting rights, climate justice, police accountability, expanded healthcare access, things that affect the community overall.
Yeah.
Also critical for black communities.
Yeah, exactly. These are all, as you can see with those two, there's not too much difference in it.
Right.
Yeah, they go the so-called Democrat socialists go a little bit farther, but for the most part, they're in line with each other. Moderates push for stability and bipartisan friendly reforms. That matters too. That matters too because instability hurts us first. I'll let you go ahead and then we'll talk about that a little bit.
So the internal fight isn't abstract. It's about how fast relief arrives and how deep the change goes.
Yeah, the moderate, I would go so far as to say, is it's a good strategy, but Democrats have been trying this strategy for the last 3 or 4 election cycle and been slapped in the face with it every time. I think you talked about it the last podcast. Don't know for sure, but I think they've been trying. And the young people, again, young Democrats are getting restless because we've been trying this moderate stuff. We've been trying to reach across the aisle. We've been trying to pick up new voters, and we get slapped in the face.
I mean, you got to do is look at, Fetterman out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, yeah.
And what happens with moderates is they come in and they say, oh, well, we're moderates and common sense policy. And then they get there and they get bought and sold like kitchen sinks. And that's what's going on with him, is that he's getting money from all the people on the other side, Israeli lobbyists who pay him money to say the things that moderates do. And then what they end up doing is essentially becoming a Republican light. And that's what you have in Fetterman. That wasn't the Fetterman that ran for the Senate 2 years ago. This Fetterman here is bought and sold by the power brokers in Washington D.C. And you hear it in the way he talks. He's not doing anything for the state of Pennsylvania. He's not trying to help the state of Pennsylvania. He's trying to help himself in his own pockets, which is why he's changed his policies on what he believes in. And we should be careful with people like him. He's no different than, ones that came before him that have done the exact same thing. They're not Democrats. So they just know they can't win on the Republican side. So they run as Democrats until they win. And then they sell us out down the line.
Exactly. I mean, Fetterman was a joke when he first came in. Republican
Right.
Party took him as a joke. Democrats stayed true to him. And soon as he got back on his back on his feet, I'm sorry, soon as he got back on his feet, he started, somebody's been in his ear. The money's been in his ear. They've been telling him you can't win as a Democrat a second time. So I believe he's tried to moderate his stance on things. And if you listen to him talk, he talks like a Republican. He don't talk like a Democrat. And he wasn't talking like a Republican when he got elected. he wore the hoodies and things and made people made the Democratic Party think that he was that fighter they were looking for. And in actuality, he's turned up, he just rolled over like a little puppy and everything. So your sound went out for a minute there.
Israel, I'm not Israeli, and I think our tax dollars should be being sent to Israel to support their economy, their country, and their military complex. It should be
Yeah,
spent here. But he's one of those people who, vote for that.
yeah,
And I'm not just against, us sending money there, but we shouldn't be sending money to Egypt either. I mean, we send money
yeah.
to both those countries to keep them from fighting, but our tax dollars here, people here are suffering, can't eat, can't buy gas, can't take care of our families. But yet we're sending $4 billion to Israel and another $3 billion to Egypt on an annual basis. Why? And why is a congressman from Pennsylvania supporting that? And I think that we need to start looking at that.
I think there's a happy medium in the Israel conversation that people are just not striking yet. It just don't seem like I think the biggest problem with Israel and some of those countries over there is their leaders. Netanyahu is the problem in Israel. I don't think without Netanyahu, Israel would be a little bit more moderate than what they are. Netanyahu has gotten Donald Trump into this quagmire war, and we're spending even more money than the 3 billion or 4 billion you were talking about. So we're spending more money on this war to the point where we're getting low on ammunition from what we're told and everything. So I don't know for sure, but I believe there's a happy medium in the Israel debate somewhere.
But here's my point. My point is, at what point does Israel need to take care of themselves? I mean, we have allies all over the world, but we don't go and jump behind Spain or Germany or Great Britain or any of those countries when they have conflicts with people. Why is Israel so important to us that we have to go and bomb an entire country? Why is a country? I mean, people need to stop acting as though they're some terrorist organization country. They're not. They're no different than any other country. There are people of 90 million people. Get up, their kids go to school. They just want to live a life just like anyone else. But because they
People,
haven't bent the knee to United States and Israel, like some of the other Middle Eastern countries over there, we decided we want to try to wipe them off the face of the earth. And I just think it's ridiculous. And I just think that our money should be spent here in the United States with our problem. There are places in this country that look just like third world countries. You don't see it on the media because the media is bought and sold by the Republican Party, but you don't see it. West Virginia, places out west, some of these places where people are on all these type of drugs in the street, sleeping in their cars, sleeping standing up, things like that. That happens right here. But we're okay with sending $4 billion to Israel and another $3 billion to Egypt to keep them from fighting. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, it's a debate that's worth having and everything.
Sure.
I do know that since Donald Trump has been in office, Egypt has been the priority for him. I'm not Egypt. I'm sorry. Israel has been the priority for him, and I just think that that's just a bridge too far right now. Let's move on. Segment 4: messaging confusion hurts black turnout. I, before I get started in this section, I don't, messaging and confusion can hurt black turnout, but I just keep saying that we as black people need to stop depending on messaging. We should be educated voters. We should
I agree.
educate ourselves, you know?
You
So
know, I,
let people message all they want to. I look at these things all day, every day, and I can make my own opinion about it. Educate yourself. Just because they call this man Abdul El Sahid don't mean that this guy is a Muslim and want to blow up the world. Just because a few people in Iran run through the streets and say death to America don't mean everybody in Iran want death to America. It just means some people do. We got people in America that says death to America. So what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You got to be smarter than what you see on TV. We need to educate ourselves as black people. That's all I'm saying. Black voters are pragmatic. We want clarity. We want a plan. We want to know what's real. We want to know what's going on. 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 We want to know what's going on But when the party sends mixed messages, we're bold, we're moderate, we're progressive, but not that progressive. We're not socialists, but also kind of socialists. Black voters get skeptical, you know.
I agree with you 100%, man. I mean, I believe that as a community, generally speaking, is that we need to gatekeep. And I think that's been one of the problems with the Black community is that we don't gatekeep. We've been so open to allow people, and I call them what they are, tethers, to come into our community and benefit off of our community. And we don't gatekeep them. And we don't vet them to make sure that they believe in what we believe in and that they're true allies. And we've seen that over the last couple elections where people who we thought were our allies were not our allies and voted against our interests and their own self-interest. I would say take a look at this guy up in Michigan, people who live in Michigan. But keep in mind what the Arabs did in the last election. And I think that's something that should be on Black people's mind to recognize that they specifically voted, particularly in Michigan, against Kamala Harris because she was Black and she was a woman. Now, I'm not saying that you should not vote for him because of that, but what I'm saying is that you should evaluate our choice and make sure the stuff that he is talking about is stuff that's going to benefit us because they've shown us that they're not our allies in Michigan. So gatekeeping, I think, is more important for us in recognizing that we do have a very powerful voting block in this country, and we need to start yielding our power. Just because somebody has Democrat before their name does not mean that they should get our vote. We need to vet them and make sure that what they're talking about and their history shows that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. No more John Fettermans who say one thing and then get into Congress and change. Ensure that they are going to do what they say they're going to do. History is the best indication of what somebody's going to do in the future, and we need to evaluate that.
Right.
All right. And skepticism leads to disengagement. Disengagement leads to lower turnout. Lower turnout shifts power away from Black communities.
Political confusion becomes political suppression, not by law, but by frustration. Once again, we can't allow this to happen to us in our community. I don't know if I had the answer. I'd probably be the best paid consultant in the world. I don't have the answer on how to keep people from getting frustrated with the message. Understanding that the job of political operatives is to confuse you, to suppress your vote and everything. It's kind of like what I used to tell my cadets when I was teaching junior ROTC is a recruiter, you got to understand, has one job: to recruit. So the recruiter is not going to look out for your best interest. They're going to look out for their military services best interest. So you got to make up your own mind what you're going to do. So we as Black people got to make up our own mind.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, moving on to the next segment is, how Republicans weaponize the word socialist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just Republicans, it's Democrats too. Some of the ones who sit on the national TV are constantly, throwing that word out. And, my question would be to people is, okay, well, what have Republicans done for you? Republicans talk all this about, patriotism and, we got too many immigrants in the country and all these buzzwords that, people who just watch state-run Fox News listen to all the time. But the reality is that the people who have agendas that are based more towards a socialist agenda are getting things done in this country. Again, I bring back the mayor and what he's done in just 6 to 9 months in New York City. And everybody was complaining New York City was going to be dead
Exactly.
if this guy won. That all the businesses in New York are going to leave and go to Texas and Florida. Well, that hasn't happened. It hasn't happened at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he's putting to shame Republicans and even Democrats in what he's accomplished. And the people in New York chose him.
Exactly.
It always amazes me how, the media likes to always say, oh, well, Mandani is not, the people in New York didn't choose him. Yeah, they did. He won the election. Just like Adams won the election before. He won the election. People like him. He's coming out. He's communicating with people. This is a guy that went to jail, Rikers, if I'm not mistaken, to watch the World Cup with prisoners. This is the mayor of New York City that said, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Rikers and I'm going to watch some of the World Cup games with people who are some of the worst people in our city, to let them know that you can be really rehabilitated.
Hmm.
That the mayor of the city of where you are in jail is not opposed to coming and spending a little bit of time with you to let you know you can be rehabilitated. How many presidents, how
Exactly.
many Republican senators or mayors have you seen do that? So, all right, let's be real. Republicans use the word socialist like a scare tactic. They apply it to every Democrat, whether it fits or not.
That's the thing that kills me. They apply it to every Democrat, every
Right.
last one of them. And our uneducated voters, and I hate to say it that way, but that's what it is. They don't take the time to understand what's been done. So, and that messaging hits older black voters especially hard because the word socialism carries historical baggage, fear of instability, fear of government overreach, fear of economic collapse. Just
Even when the
unrealistic.
policies are popular, branding becomes a barrier.
Yeah. This is why the Democratic Party's internal debate matters. If they don't control their narrative, someone else will. That's something I've been saying for a long time.
I've been saying that in reference to image. If we don't
Yeah.
control our image,
Yeah.
what we consider to be the image that we want people to see about us, somebody else will take that banner for us and run with it. So,
Yeah.
all right, next segment. Black political power depends on coalition stability. Black voters gain the most influence when the Democratic coalition is united, focused, and clear.
But when moderates, progressive, and democratic socialists fight publicly, resources get split, messages get diluted, candidates contradict each other, community priorities get lost, opponents exploit their divisions. A fractured coalition weakens black leverage.
Unified coalition strengthens.
I've said many times that to me, I believe the answer to this is every politician should concern themselves with their district or their state. And they should be very clear that what works for my district or my state may not work for your state or your district, but we ideologically agree to the same things. It just everything can't be done in Idaho that's done in New York City, and everything that's done in Wisconsin can't be done in North Carolina. It just can't, because they're two different situations. But as far as morals, values, and ideology, you can put together a coalition, and that's the way I see it. I don't know.
Well,
Segments. Go ahead.
you're 100% right. I mean, President Obama, when he ran for president of this country, did that. And I think that that's the way that we need to be. I've always said this, particularly when we're talking about black folks, is we've seen this on multiple occasions just in the last century with Booker T. Washington and W. Du Bois, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. We don't have to all be on the same page. As long as the ultimate goal is accomplished, we can get there in different ways. We don't have to all march to the same music. As long as we
Exactly.
get to where we need to be, as far as our community is concerned, I'm fine with that. There are a lot of things that I don't agree with that people do out there now. I'm
Yeah.
fine with it. We don't have to agree on everything, but as long as our goal is the same, I think we can get to where we need to get. So I think that's what we need to get back to. Stop judging people harshly just because there's one or two things they like that you don't like. I'm good with that. Let's just make sure that we get to where we need to be.
Gotcha. So the stakes are higher for black communities. Black communities feel political outcomes more intensely because of higher poverty rates, higher uninsured rates, higher eviction rates, higher student loan burdens, higher exposure to environmental hazards, higher rates of police contact, lower access to generational wealth. So when the party debates how bold or cautious to be, it's not theoretical, it's about survival.
About whether change arrives fast enough to matter.
Okay. So our final takeaways are: the question isn't whether democratic socialists or progressives are right. The question is, can the Democratic Party manage its internal differences in a way that protects and advances Black political power? Because when the party fractures, Black priorities stall, Black turnouts drop, Black influence shrink, Black communities feel the consequences first.
Appreciate y'all for listening. This is Gents Making Sense, where we break down politics with culture, clarity, and common sense.
All right, so I'm gonna save the last part and see if you got anything you want to add tonight before we close out and everything on another note. Anything that you want to add? Or
I don't really have much on another note, man. I just want to let people know, man, or at least to ask our people, man, just to stay grounded, man, stay woke, recognize that our problems are our problems and we can fix our own problems. We don't need people from the outside coming in and telling us how to deal with our own issues. We need to fix them ourselves. And as long as we stick with that plan, we'll be fine. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about what other people say. Focus on our community and what we need to do to get better. And then I'll close it by saying, stop listening to entertainers, stop listening to movie stars. They're not us. There's 50 million of us here, and there's probably 0.5% of those folks that they throw in our face all the time. Focus on our community, men like us, that are trying to, educate people on the realities of the world.
there you go. That's a good note to end on. I'm not going to step on that at all. I appreciate you. Everybody, look us up at Gents Making Sense on YouTube. We put episodes out every week. We got at Gents Mess on Spoutable. Just look us up, like, subscribe, and we'll see you the next time around. Peace out, bro.
Cheers, folks. See you next week.
All righty.